Hey, what's up, you guys? It's almost time for another ECCC, and Funko is starting to reveal some exclusives. Sorry it took so long to make this video, but it is what it is. So let's start off with some Marvel. So for Marvel, we have a classic Thor who will be shared with GameStop, and from Captain Marvel, we have Korath in his Star Force suit, which will be shared with Hot Topic. I think the classic Thor looks very nice and will be a great addition to any classic comic book collections that people might have, but he might seem out of place considering his sculpt looks much better than any other classic Marvel pops. Captain Marvel hasn't come out yet, so I don't really have much to say about this pop, but I doubt he'll have a prominent role in the movie. For television, we get Arya Stark from Game of Thrones, who will be shared with Box Lunch, Shirtless Jaguar from Rick and Morty, that's shared with Hot Topic, Diamond and Glitter Carmen Sandiego, that's shared with FYE, and a Green Power Rangers Funko cereal that will also be shared with FYE. Nothing in my interest here. Funko is really overdoing the glitter pops like they did with Chrome. My opinion, though, is that Chrome is better mainly because they can execute it well, unlike the glitter ones, where I see a lot that is super sloppy, and people who do customs do a much better job. Also, are people still buying the cereal? Because it seems like they keep putting more and more out, which surprises me, but whatever. For movies, we have a Harry Potter 3-pack of Fred, George, and Ginny. Is it Ginny or Guinea? I don't know, whatever. Which will be shared at Barnes & Noble. We get a skateboard deck from The Big Lebowski that will be shared with FYE. From Office Space, we get a 2-pack of Michael Bolton and Samir with a broken printer that's shared with Target. Grishnak, I think that's how you say it, from Lord of the Rings, that's shared with Barnes & Noble. Steve from The Life Aquatic, that's shared with the Funko Shop. And finally, a vinyl 2-pack of The Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion from Wizard of Oz that will be shared at Barnes & Noble. I haven't seen Office Space, but I do like the idea of this 2-pack. I've seen movies and shows that reference this movie scene, so I still get what the 2-pack means. I love the inclusion of the little printer. That would be a cool prop to use in photos. Steve from The Life Aquatic has some nice detailing. I like the little boat he's carrying, and it reminds me of Mr. Rogers holding his trolley. Also, skateboard decks, cause why not? Moving on to video games, from Overwatch, we have Sombra and her glitch skin, and it will be shared with Amazon. From Gears of War, we have General Ram, and will be shared with GameStop. Sombra and her glitch skin makes so much sense to be an ECCC exclusive because of her green color. Her not being shared with GameStop is a little weird though. I feel like all video game pops from cons that are shared should be always shared with GameStop. We have a couple anime reveals. First, we have from Dragon Ball Z a 6-inch Porunga, who will be shared with Hot Topic. And from Fairy Tail, we have Gajeel with Dragon Scale, who will be shared with GameStop. Gajeel looks pretty cool, and that metallic paint looks real nice, but unfortunately, it doesn't look as blue as it shows on the glam. I wasn't going to get this pop either way, but it would have looked much nicer with that brighter blue. This Porunga, or however you say his name, looks pretty crazy. The way that's sculpted is really elaborate, and... wait, what is that? Oh, he got us. Moving on to DC, we have Mr. Mitsapil, this guy, and it will be shared with Entertainment Earth. We get a comic book Black Canary, which will be shared with Walgreens Online, a 5-star figure of Batman and his black and yellow suit, which will be shared with Hot Topic, and a rock candy of Bombshell Starfire, which will be shared on the Funko Shop. It's great that we're getting more comic book DC characters. I'm not very familiar with these two characters, but I do appreciate the design of them and how they look in pop form. Since Black Canary is Walgreens, we can probably expect her to go on the website a week after the con. 5-star is just another 5-star, nothing special, and the Bombshell Starfire is a nice addition to the Bombshell set if you're a fan of that. Next, we have a couple ad icons. There's going to be a Pillsbury Doughboy with Shamrock Cookie, which will be shared with the Funko Shop, and Lime Green Sour Patch Kid that's limited to 1,000 pieces. Now here's where people might lose their minds. First, the Pillsbury Doughboy isn't that different from the original, so people who have the original might be ticked off that the rarity will go down. Also, the Green Sour Patch Kid, which apparently is the most popular, watermelon is the best, is only 1,000 pieces, so it will only be at the con. For some reason though, I just don't see this becoming a super expensive pop, like maybe $40 at the most, but that's it. I could be wrong, but it just seems like that when these pops were first announced that nobody wanted them and that everyone was hating on them. For some Disney, we have a 3-pack of Xiii, Banzai, and Ed from The Lion King and will be shared with Amazon. An action figure 3-pack of Huey, Dewey, and Louie from DuckTales that will be shared with Target. And finally, Void from Incredibles 2 that will be shared with Walmart. The Hyena 3-pack is really cool, and I could see this being a huge seller. Like, this will probably sell out instantly when it goes up on Amazon. But it's Amazon, so there's probably going to be some restocks, and they might have it up for pre-order before the con. And they have finally made Void. I am super happy to see that they made her with a giant portal. Can't wait to see that in person to see how they accomplished it. It's shared with Walmart, unfortunately, so that means it will only be online. I hope that 1, it's not too hard to get, and 2, that it doesn't get damaged. Past Walmart Con exclusives have ended up being marked down in price, but with Void, I'm not sure if she will. From Scott Pilgrim, we get 3 different Pez dispensers of Scott, Ramona, and knives, and also a pop of Ramona flowers with mallet, which will all be shared with the Funko shop. Of course, Funko continues the tradition of making the Scott Pilgrim items difficult to get. I'm not gonna lie, the Ramona kind of looks like a Fortnite character. Just the way she's dressed and the mallet just kind of looks like one to me. It would be interesting if they had a Fortnite Scott Pilgrim crossover event. If you're a fan of Scott Pilgrim, hopefully you're able to get these. Lastly, in the Funko original line, we get 2 different Freddys. One has a gold crown wearing brown pants and holding a salmon that's limited to 1,000 pieces, and the other has a silver crown with yellow pants and holding a trout that will be shared with the Funko shop. And finally, from Spastic Plastic, we get a different colored version of Findu Chomp that's blue and limited to 3,000 pieces. I love me some Spastic Plastic, so you know I'm going after this one. It's 3,000 pieces, so it's going to be a little tough to get, but I've managed to get some con exclusives that were Spastic Plastic in the past that were also limited, so I'm not too worried about it. One last thing I wanted to mention is that we got this little promotional image of Freddy in an ECCC superhero suit, so I don't know if this will actually be a pop, and if so, it will most likely be con only and possible low numbers. He would go real well next to the ECCC Crusader pop. Anyways guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Again, sorry it took so long to make this, but what are you going to do? What are you guys most excited for? My most wants are Findu Chomp and Void. And also that superhero Freddy if it's real, but we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.